Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechFusion. And today we are doing another Android tutorial video, and this one is the 6th one in this series. If you haven't seen the previous video, then I highly recommend you to take a look at that. The card will be on the top right by now. And what that video includes is how to make this generalized layout, which will be used for this video. Now, as far as that goes, this video is going to get into how to put in functionality into your application. We're going to get as far as we can within this, but if you run into any problems, then please do 3 things. First off, search on Google, because in the real world that's what you're going to end up doing, so you need to build up those skills. Second is go to Stack Overflow or some forums like this and search on there, see if anyone else had a problem and got the answer. And if that's not the case, then ask, because again, you need to build those skills up, because that's what's going to happen in the real world. And lastly, feel free to ask me and I'll try to help as I can, but I want you to really try those first 2 things, because those are, believe it or not, are things you're going to be doing quite a bit in the real world. So as far as that goes, let's jump on into this, and keep in mind, if you want to skip ahead to my next video, I'll have a card out on that, and the card doesn't show, then that means that video's not out yet, and the videos come out once or twice a week depending on my personal schedule. So what we need to do is go to the Java. Assuming that you're just coming off my previous video, what you need to do is load up your application, your project itself. Go down Java, go to the .com, go to main activity. And you don't have to have all this other stuff open, so let's close those. And then double click that and something like this should show up. You can right click it and do a close all to close that, or we can do close others if you have others open or whatever, but we just need this open for right now, so simplicity terms. Now, one thing we're going to do to start out is we're going to use comments. So I want you to go to the very top up here under the first bracket, press enter, and we want to make a single line comment, and this is just going to say what we're going to do in this given space. This is good practice, not only to start out with so you know what is where, because you're the one who's making this. If you decide to do it at a given spot that I didn't tell you, then basically the format will be different, but it will work the same depending on where you put stuff in the code. So keep that one in mind. As we get more and more complex into this, this will really take emphasis. So that's just where the comments come in play. And I highly advise you for the comments to use colors that will basically stand out. So with me, I try to use something that stands out, and to do that, all you have to do is go to File and go to Settings, and then what we want to do is go down to Editor, go to Color and Font, and then go to Java. What we're looking for is something like this, where it just has 2 slashes and that. Just select that, and it says line comma or comment, and basically this is a quick way of finding things within here. Instead of you have to scroll down and find it within here, you just find what you're looking for, and there you go. What we want to do is go ahead and deselect the use inherent, and go ahead and select that. Select a color that you like, press choose, and there you go, and press OK. and as you see there, it stands out. Again, these are very important things to do, at least in my personal opinion. For you, it may or may not be, but in my personal opinion, comments are highly useful and underutilized. So what we're going to do here is declare. And one thing on do here is you can see that it has squiggly lines, and you have the thing telling you that you mess up in your wording. So if you're sharing your project, you can actually see that, oh, I messed a typo. And whenever someone else gets the project, keep in mind companies hire people across the world. With this stuff, you can have a remote person working in Japan, the company be in the United States, and you can be over there in Africa or wherever. It doesn't matter as long as you got internet connection and a computer. So having proper English is really important. So seeing those typos is very important to get on it. And let's say that we do have a typo. What we want to do is just simply right click that, go spelling, change to, and you can see it there. Simple as that. Declare our view variables. Now what we need to do is go down to the next line, and we use tab to move this left and right. And I'm assuming that you already have some background in Java, so I'm going to skip over a lot of basic stuff. But what we need to do is go ahead and do private text view, and this is going to be for the text view. And then do the and this is for the name, so we're just going to do name text view, and then we need to place the semicolon to close that off. So from here we can add a couple more. Private text view, and let's say school, and then close that one off and do another private, and let's type out button, and then let's do button and close that off. You might notice that this is red and it's telling me to press Alt and Enter. That means that it did not import it. Whenever you autocomplete, it imports it. I forgot to do that the first one to show you. But from here, all you need to do is select that and press just Alt and Enter. Import the stuff. There we go. Sorry about that. And go so from here I gotta explain this area, but basically what this is it's saying to set the content view to this layout. So for example, if you decided to make the activities underscore main something else, maybe a settings menu or something like that, and you have something else in mind that might be a better solution for the main thing, then what you would do is simply replace this with the change layout. So as it's loading this, we need to define what's in the layout. So let's do that. What we need to do is go down within these brackets, do a double slash. So again, we're making a comment to say what we're going to do. This is personal. The user does not see this stuff, so it's personal for you, but it's something that I think is something that really needs to be done more, especially if you're in a team, so a team knows exactly what your portion is. What did you just add? Or if something is wrong or they need to add more to it, they can easily do that. So what we're going to put in here is aside the views from the layout file to the variables. Simple as that. And what we need to do is go and press the M, and it's trying to figure out what we're going to need. It's just an autocomplete, so we need to select one of these. So let's select the name. Let's press tab equals, and simply what we can do here is tell it what the cast needs to be, and this is going to be what's expected. So I'm not going to fill this in, and in fact, let's just get rid of that, and I'm going to show you the error that comes up if you don't do it. But we're going to do a find view by ID. Just do a tab on that, and you're going to do that command quite a bit. Then do r.id dot, and we will have the actual class, the actual IDs right here that we set before. So we need to select the right one as reason why we actually needed to have specific names for them instead of having button 1, button 2, button 3 and playing a guessing game. We know which each one does. So we add that. Then simply close that out with a semicolon. So as you see here, we have a error, and if we hover over it and put our cursor on it, we will get the error down here, and it's saying that we just simply don't have the cast. So to do this, just do a parentheses and do text view, because it's expecting a text view based on this. So with this, it's going to expect a button on the cast. I'm going to let you finish up the IDs, and I'll see you back in there in a second. And I'll pause the video and I'll be right back. So now we're going to make the button actually do something. So what we need to do is type in the M button dot set OnClickListener, and then close that off. What an OnClickListener does is it basically listens for a click. There are several different types, and if you don't know which one that you need, they have a list of stuff on Google, on specifically the Android development site. I highly advise you check that out if you're not familiar with this stuff. But a lot of this, especially with buttons, you're going to get more and more familiar with it. So you're just going to either know it off the top of your head or know where to get it. And what a lot of people do is they end up on their previous code just copying it over. It's just easier to do that instead of typing everything out. But you're building up your library so you can do that. This is very, very important. So as far as that goes, what we need to do is go right above what we done and type out view dot OnClickListener, and then type out listener equals new view dot OnClickListener, and then we're going to do brackets. Now, in some cases, this will autocomplete and add a bunch of code into it. However, sometimes it doesn't. And what you need to do is simply just type it out. And this is why I say a lot of developers will copy and paste a lot of their code into their in case something like this doesn't happen. It depends on your settings and a few other things. So what we're going to do, in case if it didn't fill things out, is just fill it out with the important stuff. Public void onClick view v, and then bracket. Now, next thing you need to do is simply press put a semicolon in to close this out. We want to take this and paste it down here, and now we got no more errors. I suggest at this point saving just in case and reflecting. So one thing I'll mention is how exactly does this work. It's basically what happens is whenever the button is clicked, it will tell this, and whenever this it says it's clicked, it will do whatever that's within the parentheses. So it's very important that you have this set up right. So what I'm going to do from here, we're going to set a string, and basically this is what is going to change the name or whatever you want for the text. So for here, what we're going to do is say string, and then we're just going to say school. So the name of the string is called school. Then we're doing quotations, and the school equals whatever's in the quotations, and close that off. So for here, I'm just going to put tech reviews and help. And if you're in school and your school told you to do this, then put in your school's name. Otherwise, feel free to use tech reviews and help or whatever you want. But from here, we're going to use another string, and I'm just going to name it name equals, and again close this off. And what we're going to do is I learned how to code for Android thanks to, and like say for example, if we do something like that, we'll get a spell check thing, so don't worry about that. It used to be actually a lot bigger problem than it was. Basically back in the day, there's a lot of apps that were have major misspellings in them. Unfortunately, they don't have a grammar check in it yet, but there was major misspellings in them back in the day, and fortunately they have that spell check in there now. That's working pretty well. So what we're going to do now is say the school text view dot set text, and then we're going to say the string's name. It's that simple. Same thing with name dot set text to name. So if the button's clicked, it will make the strings, and it will given the strings don't already exist. If they do exist, then make them to that, but then change these to whatever these strings are. So as far as the next thing is, we're going to make the button go away all entirely. So let's say that we just want to make it invisible. Both ways. What you're going to do is do button or whatever you name that, then set visibility, and then if you want to make it invisible, you just say invisible. If you want to make the button go away all entirely, then just do gone. So yeah, I'm just going to set invisible, and it doesn't matter for this instance, but it might be something worthwhile to note in case of some particular application or company wants you to completely make the button go away. So now that I loaded up in the emulator, let's click that, and as you see here, the button goes away and it changes that to what we set. So we set 2 strings. Let's go back. We set 2 strings. Whenever this is clicked, it made these 2 strings, and then it set whatever the text was for those 2 text blocks there. And the interesting thing is if we wanted to, we can have a whole load of text in here that's invisible, and just have it where, okay, you click the button and it makes it visible. That's entirely possible. So there's a lot you can do with that. But keep in mind, if you want the text to do something at all besides just showing itself, then you have to have an ID to it. So if you want to change or do something other than just being there, then you got to have an ID to it, so we can change the stuff as you've seen there. Anyways, this is all I'm covered today, so don't overload anyone. My next video, I'm going to show how to make a random number generator and also have multiple things. So say, for example, if you are in multiple schools or in a boot camp or whatever, then you can basically have it where instead of having it say one thing, every time the person clicks on the button, it would keep going and going and giving them something new. But anyways, as far as that goes, if you do have any question or anything, let me know in the comment section. But if you like this video and it's helped you out, please feel free to donate to our Patreon and also to the PayPal. But also feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next video.